Why, hello. Happy Monday Eve. It is 8:48 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I am so thankful that you are here for my live tonight, what we talk about 90 Day Fiancé. This is Before the 90 Days. We are in season 5, and we are in episode 7, honey, 7. So if we were in Vegas, we'd be lucky. If we were baby girl Kimbali, we wouldn't be lucky. We wouldn't get lucky. You know what I'm saying? So I'm so happy to have you guys here as we break down everything that's happening. I love everyone who was like, yeah, we're available. Hi. I am going to go in tonight. So I did put full face on for you. So yes, thank you for seeing me. And yes, I did hear that Alina got fired, and we are going to talk about it. Don't you worry, Veronica. Don't you worry, my love. You think I wouldn't talk about it? No, I will. I actually won't talk about their segment so much beyond the fact that, like, we'll talk. This one incident is crazy, but now they're gone anyway. So, having said that, by saying they're gone anyway, we, the 90 Day World, has sort of globbed on to what hopefully is breaking news from, I think, Ashley's reality roundup. And the reason why is as I go live in this moment, I do not think that TLC has made it official yet. So I'm hoping that she, in fact, is gone, but I'll keep you updated. That is a, like, beet juice. Honey, it has a lot of ginger. I love like a blood red juice. It feels like, vampirish, but also like, here's the other thing, like I don't eat liver. I don't eat liver. Just I can't, like, I'm just like a sensitive tummy. I don't eat a lot of things that I don't, want to. So liver is just not something that I'm just going to be able to eat in my life. And I don't know what's in liver, but I assume a lot of nutrients. Like there's a whole bunch of people that eat liver or whatever. And so the whole point of that is this is like the closest I'll get to like that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about it all, but I do want to get in. I'm so happy you guys are here. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, interact however you want to interact. But I'm super excited to have your engagement. And let's just be honest, your engagement now is probably the only engagement I'll have in my lifetime. Okay, so just giving you like mild, old-timey humor. Who shall we start with? I mean, maybe we just start with Alina and the cow and to the Caleb. Okay, and Elijah, because it definitely is all those people's show. So I'm not going to talk about their segment, but let's talk about the fact that, yes, we have talked about knowing that Alina, basically, if for any reason you don't know, who is the Russian differently abled small person that has been on the season with Caleb of Arizona, and then social media posts of multiple social media posts have been unearthed that are not just like ignorant, like in tone, but like she almost like chose violence in the sense of how loud her like racism and discrimination when in these social media posts like aimed differently, but like to Black people, to Asian people, to like Islamic or Muslim people or Arab people, whatever she was doing. I don't know where, that's all one thing, which is a lot. And her subsequent attitude in quote or apology has been like null, has been the kind of apology that is this really a problem? I don't see a problem. It's not a problem because I have the defense of A, Y, and Z. So it's not my fault. Actually, it's not a thing because I'm Russian. Basically, she sort of just was like, either I'm Russian and therefore I didn't understand that racism is a thing, or like, why would I be like discriminatory because I'm like I'm a little person, which yeah, both things, yeah, we didn't realize it. Why both things are questioning. We don't understand why you would be. And mostly what happened was again, her reaction defensiveness wasn't one of understanding why it was incredibly offensive. It was more of her wanting so badly, I don't know, to not see, to not understand that it made it hard for us to like care about her. Because the truth of the matter is, if it wasn't for this whole racism thing, there has been questionable behavior between her and her BFF, Elijah, that just also, yes, happened in such a way that we got to see in this episode, right? So basically, again, I really don't talk about this storyline, but it was revealed, like, let's just say this. If it wasn't for all of these like horrible racist situations that was happening with Alina outside, it's like we would then have to talk about, which is like, this is incredibly creepy and awkward against Caleb of the like sexual harassment or like sexual play that is happening in objectification between like Alina and Elijah and Caleb. Because if we were to like reverse gender, and this is something that we could also talk about with Usman and Kimbali or whatever, like it'd be awkward. So the story is that they all go to dinner, honey. It's Elijah and it's Caleb and it's Alina, honey. And Caleb is basically, it's like revealed that Caleb just walked in. Sorry. Sorry, I got a text. I was like, what is that? Okay, yeah, hold on. Okay, so I'll tell you in a second. I got a notification from my dad that he was getting something to eat, and he's just been out so long, and I hope he's doing okay. So Elijah walked in on them having sex because he has a key. And it seems like very late into the night, he decided to come into their room, their bedroom, to grab a jacket to go out. Now, I don't know if it's one because their place looks big. Like, is it he walked into the actual bedroom to get the jacket? He didn't think he'd have to knock. But here's the thing. When confronted like that happened, Elijah was like, "Yeah, I did." And Caleb's like, "Yeah, and you you stood there and stared at me." And Elijah's like, "Yeah, I want to see that body." And Alina's like, "I'm sorry, what? What? That is no good. No bueno. I'm sorry, what? No, you can't just like walk in. I'm sorry. You know, it's just so funny because it's like the times in which I've had to experience any of my friends' sexualities, like, when you're like your 20s, I'm just tell you, like, sometimes like there are times in which you've shared a hotel room or something and you have to hear people like doing whatever. We've all been there, like we've all had to hear noises that we wish we didn't hear. Yes, I wish it didn't happen, but I lived in the same room with someone my junior year of college that like was a free-spirited hippie. Her name, well, I won't tell you her name. She's great. But she was a free-spirited hippie, honey, and I was a virgin. Okay, my love. But she just like had boyfriends. And I slept in the same room with her because we both had captain height beds. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is like I don't want to see, I don't want to be, I don't want to see it, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to know. Like it is like a thing where I'm sorry, I actually feel like I'm a really sexual person, and like when I'm with someone, I'm like very free. I'm not like inhibited, but I think that like that thing is so sacred. Like I'm not someone, I guess, who's had like threesomes. I wouldn't want to like share the like sexual experience with like any of my friends and their lovers. I just have never felt that way. Like this part of me, I guess, is really traditional. I just don't want it. Like I don't want to smell it. Like I'm so sorry. Like I'd run. Like if I thought that there'd be two people, and one of them is my friend, like boning, and I knew I wouldn't get the jacket. I would just stay in, or I'd buy a new jacket. That's how like not confrontational I am when it comes to other people's sex that I know. You know? So all of this is like disgusting, but just Elijah's attitude of like Yeah, I thought the possibility of you having sex could happen. I just walked in because I don't care about your privacy, your security, or I don't respect you or Alina. I think that's okay. And Alina not saying anything is like, okay, well, honestly, go Maddie, and Poodle because they were on Caleb's side early on. Caleb came out when all the Alina stuff happened and was like basically like, she's never been racist in front of me. I don't think she's racist. If this is true, would that have been, cut out? I wonder if his tune's going to change. Um, she laughed. In a billion years, could you imagine if it was just change every gender? Caleb is Cabelina. Eliza Doodle. Sorry, Eliza Doolittle. Honey, I don't know. The other one, Alina. Two girls. Sorry, two guys, one dude. Okay, did I make that up? No, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Cable. Sorry. Caleb is a girl, and then the two dudes. Okay, that's obviously what I want to say. And the point of the story is, could you imagine like that situation? A dude walking in on his dude having sex with a girl and being like, "Yeah, I stood there and just stared at your body. I would do it again. It's a great body." And the guy being like, "Yeah, dude, it's a great body. Yeah, I rode that. Got into that disco ball. I was a Cinderella of that disco ball." I mean, whatever he's gonna say, like I was in that disco, honey. It was like, Elijah's like, "Yeah, tell me more about what it was like being in her vagina." I mean, it was, it's trashy. It's doesn't have like there's no dignity and it's trashy and it's really disrespectful of whatever you think that you have with Caleb, who you've known her this long. Anyway, so that's that. Elijah likes messing with Caleb. I mean, at the other time, the whole thing of it's just like you never know what's real and what's not. I'm happy not to like have to deal with them. Truly, they made it easy for me. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to Memphis and Hamza. Which I mean, truly, at this point, we all hate them now. I mean, Caleb and Alina are the worst couple, and they're gone now. But now that if Caleb and Alina are gone, and God bless, knock on wood, they are, then I think Memphis and Hamza take the place. Like I think that Gino and Jasmine have a better shot of love than Hamza and Memphis. I think Spella has a better chance of love with Johnny. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So as we talk about it, Memphis is going to, and Hamza are going to go to the capital, to the embassy to get paperwork so they can get married. But that is far away. And so they are going to spend the night there. That makes sense. Also, because they get to not sleep in his mom's house. We all saw how that went down, which was horrible because they're horrible people. And that mom is great. And that sister's beautiful. And Yusuf, what a saint. Ugh. Anyway, let's talk about it. So Memphis is just like Hamza, and just like is completely naggy nags, and just like this always questioning him and everything. And here's the thing: yeah, Hamza doesn't have his shit together. I don't understand how it's not apparent and how it wouldn't be apparent before you got to, Tunisia, that like Hamza probably isn't going to be the one that's going to like make your life easier. I don't know why that wasn't apparent, Um, oh my God. Okay, let's talk about it. That's hilarious. So I love it. I love it. If I am wrong and that's what's happening, then God bless. I don't have to tell you that I'm wrong. Then they're making good TV because this is crazy. I can't even believe they would stay together. So Hamza can't, drive anywhere, God bless, and he has, like, not any money, so he's like, "We're gonna go, to the capital, and like we said, we're gonna get that hotel room, honey." I had my friend Yusuf. You remember Yusuf? He picked you up at the airport, honey. You forgot about Yusuf. You would, like, you talked the whole time as if Yusuf was an Uber driver. He's my best friend, so he's pulling another favor because Yusuf, I guess, is also going into town. Great. So whatever, Hamza's like, well, if he can't pick up, I'm sorry, Memphis is like, well, if he can't pick us up, like, what else is going to happen? He's like, we're going to take the bus or whatever. She's like, no, I'm not. And here's the thing. I wonder how much money she thinks Hamza has. I wonder, like, why that wouldn't be talked about, like how they would get around but at the same time, they don't really speak the same language. Oftentimes, I'm like, why aren't you guys using Google Translate more? So guess what? Yusuf, honey, he's the best friend ever. He pulls up, okay? But guess well, Yusuf has had a lot on his mind because he's doing his own life, by the way. Like he's not being taped, but he has his own shit going down, just not being like Hamza's personal Uber driver. My dad's home. So basically, um, I'm so happy to see he's home. I'm sorry, it's like throwing me off. Okay. He had such a rough day. I love him so much. So, oh good. Yusuf's like, I obviously drove to your house and you told me to pick you up and I'm going to, but I forgot my papers. Like, I don't know, his like license, his insurance papers. He's like, my brother is going to come and bring it over. And like, I mean, Memphis has like, is real pissed. She's like, we're not going to make it to the consulate in time, but she's not says consulate. She's like consulate, consulate. I don't know how she says it. I'm not quite sure. So I love you guys. Okay. So she's really upset. And the question I have is if you're going to spend the night there anyway, then who really cares if you get to the consulate the day before or the day after? You know what I'm saying? You know, you're gonna spend the night. It isn't like you have to drive all the way there. This is your one last day, and you're not going to spend the night there. You've already planned to spend the night there. Just get there and just enjoy your life. Get up in the morning and do it. But this is like Memphis, like, of course, blows a gasket and is just like so complainy. And like, I don't, Yusuf must be like hating his life, honey. But they drive the 2 hours there and they get to the hotel, and the hotel's really, really, really nice. Really nice. And they go downstairs and they get a drink and they get doubles, honey, and they get back. At first, it looks like screwdrivers because it's like Grey Goose and what looks like orange juice. Like it looked like two screwdrivers. I clocked that. When they get up to the room, Hamza's drink looks different. It looks like, looks yummy, but like almost like a strawberry daiquiri or something like that. I wonder if he got two drinks. Hamza doesn't usually drink. He says that he doesn't drink, but only sometimes for special occasions or special people. We all know what happens the first and last time that they've enjoyed each other, which was that Hamza's like a, hit him and quit him type. I mean, no, not quit him, but just really, really short fuse. And hi, Dad, I'm doing my live. So the hotel's beautiful, like I said, and Hamza is, drinking, and we're all like, Hamza, you have to be able to last longer. And we don't even know how much you drink, but the strongest conversation they've had where they've understood to the core what each other meant was this conversation that Memphis and Hamza has while they're like slightly tipsy over what Hamza has to make sure it doesn't happen. Like halfway there, I'm like, I feel so bad for that mom just knowing what's going to be like put on TV with her like son who just, God bless. She wants so bad for her son not to be on TV, boning everyone, making her look bad for like her son violating her traditional beliefs on national television. And she's endured so much. She probably was just like, I'll never be hurt by a man as much as I was hurt by Hamza's father who just left me. But now Hamza goes on national television, honey, and just like under my roof the first night, runs into bed, and then lies to my face. Well, that is his father's son. So, I love you so much. So we shall see. The big review will be the review. We don't know. What do you think? So you can tell me in the comments or when you watch this video live if you think that Hamza is going to like put it down, honey, like what we all want for him, which is a long, hard sesh, long sex playlist. Like maybe there's some Marvin Gaye, honey. It's just like there's beats, there's flow, like a roller coaster. There's tides, there's turns, there's acts, there's movements, there's pauses, intermissions, and then swells up again. You know what I'm saying? Um, but at the same time, look, with everything, with every piece of criticism I heave at every one of these people, and I said already a lot about how I think that they should not be together. But if God wants them to be together, honey, no, I'm just kidding. But if that's what happens, if they're together, I'm just gonna, just want you to remember that I'm single. So it isn't like I know. This is just my opinion at any given time. But they definitely shouldn't be together, right? Like it's crazy. She's like mad that he lied about his age. Like I don't understand like why she thinks he's gonna be a dad. Like no, he's not. Like he what? Like he can book a hotel room. But like this man, I mean, I know it's hard out there, but it feels like women in this show, but and that's what I'm hoping. It's like it's not this show. It's like what I'm hoping to like understand is that it's part of the human experience. Make up fantasies. Make up fantasies. And they are trying to meet the person to insert into this fantasy. And when they find someone who is attractive, you hear him saying, and attracted, and of mild, whatever, like health or whatever, it's very hard to wake up from that fantasy. Once they're inserted, honey, it's like, and that's of course how I feel about Kimbali, which I've said, which I'll talk about next. Yeah, like we're all just like, yeah, Memphis, like he's a little boy. Yeah, no, he's not to listen to you at all. So at the end of the episode, Hamza and Memphis get in a fight over the fact that Memphis wants to get married. And if she doesn't get married, like this trip, she's never coming back. And Hamza and her are going to break up. And Hamza's point is, we understand like why you do that. It's like that because that's how important you want to get married right now. Like it isn't, it's all about marriage. Is it about marriage or is it about me like getting to know me? Because we boned once. And I know I took my life and my fate in my own hands to give you that. So, Kimbali and Usman. I love it. So, you've got this video call. I love you guys. Tara. Yeah, Pamela. Yes, and the fact they have language differences, they just fill in the blanks the way they want the fantasy to be. Yeah, it even makes it easier. That's a great point. If we're all living in some sort of fantasy anyway, then literally if that the other person, like it's hard for them to communicate who they actually are, then you really can just like paint a picture, can't you? And maybe that's like Nicole and Asin, like that could be all of that. Yes. And then get mad when the other person doesn't give them the fantasy they dreamt up. Yeah. No, that's true. I know. Oh, God, it's so hard. Yeah. But I've done it. I've done it. Right? Because it's like a fantasy. It's not like well, yeah, you just want, yes, you just want the person that you feel like you have maybe a connection with, a connection that's already hard to find with people. If you feel like you have that connection, you're just like, well, if we have this connection, then why can't you be loving and kind and sophisticated and smart and have emotional intelligence and take care of me and love me and can show it But often they're like, "No, I can't. I'm scared. I'm insecure. I had nothing going for me. I'm intimidated. I'm weak. I'm sad. I'm depressed. I'm lazy." And you're like, "Oh, oh, mm." Well, God bless. So, Kimberly and Usman. So Kimberly has like done everything, honey, she could to get here and just like be assistant, honey, PA of his video shoot of the Zara musical video. So Usman's like, fine, I'll spend summertime with you. So they go to like a bazaar, which we've seen the show before, and the scene is just as market bazaar place as all the others, where I'll give you a special price and all of that, blah, blah, Zanzibar. So guess what? We get to LOL with Usman a little bit over Kimberly's like absolute crazy obsession over Michael Jackson. They find like a fedora that doesn't look like Michael Jackson's fedora in Smooth Criminal. I mean, it's a fedora, but like doesn't really look like the same. I mean, it has like a shorter brim and whatever. God bless, it's like from a different material, but at the same time, she couldn't help it. She was like, "It's Michael Jackson! Put it on, put it on, put it on." And I just like feel like Kimberly just has like, yeah, just a constant Michael Jackson playlist in her head going at all time. So later on, well, of course, Usman's like, yeah, Kimberly loves that MJ, honey. I mean, I like an MJ, but Kimberly loves him. Loves, loves him. Okay. And so Kimberly is just, hold on. You don't want to see it. I don't want to see anyone beg for anything, but I don't like seeing a woman beg a man for attention or sexual intimacy or validation. No thanks. It must be something triggering within me. Unless you all tell me that it's true. There's the cringe. I'm like trying to like the cringy aspect is like, and I guess there's different cringies, but like I don't want to see it. It makes me so sad. And the fact that she keeps having to say, "I'm not desperate. Like I don't want to keep begging for sex. I'm not begging." And you're just like, "Yo, you absolutely are." I mean, yes, you are. Just so you know, you are begging. I don't understand how you don't know that's what that is. Like people can't see past the end of their nose. It is like, yeah, how do you know that's not begging? And Mike, how do you know, or how do you not know that like what you're doing with all of your bodily noises isn't disgusting and should not be done? And is a thing. Okay, so with Kimberly, she's like, Usman, I want you in my bed. And Usman's like, no, because like we said that, like, remember how we agreed that no? And um, she's like, no, we did agree, but now it's time for me to actually tell you what I want, which is I never wanted to agree to that. And now you have to agree to take my side, which is that we disagree. And now it's time for you to agree with me. Like, it makes, there's like, the logic is completely off. She's bananas. Like, I have gone back and forth of wanting to give her like some compassion because I think there's parts of her that I do find charming, like her love of like what looks like early 90s, bargain basement drugstore products that she like has put into her daily regimen of like self-care. Like I could look at that B footage all day of her like spraying that like raspberry body spray and stuff like that. Yeah, like, I love that. Um and I really would want to see like a bunch more pictures of her in her youth when she was like in the services, stuff like that. But yeah, like you just want to be like, girl, run. Like I can't watch you. I just cannot watch you be like, I'm not begging you for sex, Usman. Usman being like, for some reason, the producer's telling him to. Later on in the evening, after Usman told Kambali that he wasn't going to spend the night in her room, he comes over. Mostly maybe because he thought like, well, the first time I went over to Kimberly's room, she had like a Mac laptop and like a PlayStation 5. He was probably like, if I go into her room tonight, will she give me a car? Can you imagine? Kimberly's like, Usman, thank you for coming to my room. And looks behind door number one, a new car. The keys are in my. Would Usman go to that disco ball for the keys to a new car? Follow me what I said. Do you think? If you think that Kimberly, if Usman would go into Kimberly's disco ball to get the keys to his new car, do you think that he would do it? You can leave any of the following emojis in your comments. Disco balls. Is there one? Car or keys? Yeah, so for some reason, Usman again comes in the room and she's just like, I'm so happy you're here. You're gonna sleep in my bed. We're not gonna, can we bone, can we bone? We're gonna bone, right? We're gonna bone, we're gonna bone. Like, like, here's the thing. And 100%, he doesn't want to have sex with her. Of course he doesn't. He doesn't want to touch her. I'm sorry. Let's just be honest. If he wanted to touch her, he would have. This is not like, some whatever, like uber Christian, uber religious chaste person, honey. This is Usman, Soldier Boy Usman. We've already seen Usman. And he gave us one of the dirtiest moments of 90-day history. Of 90-day history, he gave us one of the dirtiest moments. What they did the first time, what they did was vulgar. That we know. Vulgar. Do you hear me? So I don't need this like dog and pony show of like, oh, I want to go slow. Like, no, you don't. By the way, if Zara from like America was here, come on. Oh, so okay. So Wa talks about it, and watch Wa's video. But just side note is I didn't pay attention because I didn't watch this, but like one of the first segments, the first B footage of Kim and Usman, is this produced shot using a drone of this gentleman like climbing up a very tall tree and getting a coconut or whatever. And like a lot of the B footage of like the other ethnic countries can be like demeaning in some way. But this shot is like they've planned this shot of this man like climbing up this tree. All I'm saying is that would never be Usman because he's never going to climb Kimberly. Do you understand? Not ever. If he was going to, he would have. And Kimberly, I don't understand how you have been on God's green earth for as long as you have being a woman and already having a child and that child looking hot AF. So I know that you at one point used to get it. Okay, I understand that about you, Kimberly. So at this point, why don't you know what it's like to be sexually desired by a man and when one doesn't? It's not, Kimberly is I think, an attractive woman. Are there things that God bless that you could change here and there? Sure. Sure. But she's felt the desire of men before. So she knows what it feels like. I don't understand like where we are that like she doesn't get it, like that's not coming from her, from Usman at all. And so she's just being manipulated and taken advantage of on TV. And you don't want to see it. You don't want to see it. So basically, yeah, they get in bed together, honey, and Usman was like, builds a fort, and Kimberly's like so upset, and she's just like, you're hugging that fort, but you could be hugging me. And Usman's like, no, I don't want to touch you. Can't you see? I can get that Google Translate, honey, if you want me to, but I'm speaking English, and I've been speaking English for the past 2 seasons very well. Everyone else seems to understand. God bless. So, all right. Okay. Okay. It's just that it's like, okay. I just don't, okay. When she was younger, I think that Kimberly seems, you know what it is? Okay. I don't know for sure or not, but sometimes when we've lived a life and we've maybe not doing the stretching and the elongating, like the work on our core and stuff, and like the elongating and like gait work, we can be a little hunched over and we can not be able to move with a gait that has the ease and a grace that we once did. And I wonder if you gave Kimberly back, and we don't know, honey, she was in the services, so we don't know like what her body's been through. So I'm not trying to be mean. I'm giving her like she was attractive when she was younger, probably too, with like a certain lightness of being. We don't know that, like, because does seem to walk with a certain heaviness. And I'm not saying this has nothing to do with like physical weight. Like, she doesn't seem very comfortable on her feet, even, and she like makes that so she's a little the part of her that feels, I think, a little slow and older and like that way. I think that if we removed that through some years of like body maintenance, we would have like been given a different Kimberly. And yes, of course, if you gave her a little bit of chin, my God, it'd be a different woman. But that's neither here nor there, and we don't even need it. But if we're gonna, I'm like an aesthetic person. I could talk to you about it. Okay, I got you back. She looks good. Okay, okay. Okay. Um, so nope, he doesn't even want a strand of her hair to touch him. Yeah, like, yeah. So this part's also, wait, Ram. This part's also true. I mean, Lisa wasn't a walk in the park of like Eden, like an Aphrodite walking in Eden. It's like, I wouldn't quite like describe Lisa nor her voice, if you know what I'm saying. So, like, do you think that, I mean, I think for personality wise, like I think both those women are the same in my book of like attractiveness. And I would pick Kimberly's personality over baby girl Lisa in a heartbeat. Baby girl Lisa was mean. Kimberly is just like obsessed. But Usman wanted in to baby girl Lisa. He wanted into that like sandpapery sandbag. Talk about it wasn't even disco ball that he wanted into with Lisa, and he was with like a deserted sock hop. It's really bad. Okay. You guys are really complimenting my look tonight. I thank you so much. It's mostly because I did have to like film a self tape, and so I was like, well, I might as well like do it up for the self tape, and then just like also give you girls and guys a little eyeliner because it had been a minute. And I know that like sometimes I look back at my like the thumbnails of like my recent videos, it's just a bunch of me with like not nary any makeup. And sometimes like a girl has to like have like executives and some people like watch her YouTube channel. And, I mean, God bless. They're probably like, why would anyone tune into this like barren face, blah bitty blue? So, deserted sock hop. You like that, Flower Lotus? Just like one of those, just like 40s Junction sock hop things. Okay, so basically, we'll see. At the same time, I don't think that this is good. I think that this is bad, and I think that I hope that this ends with them because it's hard to watch, and I feel like Usman's taking advantage of Kimberly, and I think that Kimberly is just letting herself be bled in front of everyone and just incredibly shaming, and I don't want to see it. I feel bad. I wish that her son would just come take her off the show, just like come. I mean, that would be like, that is what I've kind of wanted this entire time, to save the entire storyline and to get me to watch. I would like, I think his name is Jamal to come and like check in on his mom and to like size Usman up and then take back the laptop and the PlayStation 5. Would you love it? I would love it. Okay, so I love you guys. Thank you so much. So let's talk about Spella and Johnny. So basically, Johnny had the whole thing where he couldn't get to Singapore, right? And that was their plan to go to Singapore and quarantine there and then go to America. And he needed to get a visa there. That his visa was denied, and Spella was really upset. And then Spella has like a meal with her friend, and she tells them that that was like 2 weeks ago, and they had figured out this other thing, which is that you can also do the same plan in one of the countries that doesn't need a visa, like Dubai, which was like, oh, okay, well, then why didn't you do it in the first place? But whatever, God bless. So once he got the ticket for Dubai, Johnny started to have some back and forth, and Spella, honey, was not having it. Her friends at this lunch, married couple. It's like some white lady and an Asian man. I'm not quite sure his descent because I don't know if he said it, so I don't want to just say it, but maybe Filipino. So in a lovely way, this Filipino man's like, no, just side note is Bella, just wondering if is there anything possibility with maybe like just thought that his parents aren't accepting the fact that he's going to marry a white American woman. And Spella's like, oh, well, he's never said it, you know? And then like his the other guy's like, white wife's like, well, he should say it if that's what's happening. And this Asian guy's like, yeah, just because it's like, a little thing in like Asian cultures for like, Asian people to be like incredibly family orientated and sort of like listening to what their family says and what their family wants all the time. Just from my experience. We're all like, So, tell him. Okay, so, but we get this conversation that Bella has with Johnny, where she's just like, what's happening? And he lays it out. Look, the Delta variant is booming, honey, booming. And in America, I've been listening to the news. Y'all Americans, like, you don't have it under control. And every state's different. And some people like don't want masks indoors. We've been already having masks in China. And like I even maybe did some like research in Idaho Falls. I'm not quite sure what the Idaho mandates are, but they're less than what's happening in China. And in China, if I was to get COVID, all of my healthcare would be free. And if I go to America and get COVID, I am going to be destitute, pay for everything. This is honestly great television because the way people have reacted to COVID has been eye-opening and splitting for people across the board and many different relationships. There are families where people were like divided in how they treated the either seriousness or level of caution or whatever you want to call reaction to their own reaction to COVID. So it's actually a great scene because Bella doesn't get it. She's like, what? No, it's like not a thing. I mean, it's like a thing or whatever. We're over it. Like people are like traveling all the time. It's like not a worry. It's like basically not even happening here in Idaho. None of these cows have it. But here's a rub. At the end of the day, and Johnny had put off, I guess, other versions of this trip. And he kind of says this is the reason why, this COVID thing, but he also just mentions having basic hesitation. And that hesitation is, I think, what's also reading. Spella is like, this is traumatizing. Like you keep going back and forth. Like, I can't do it. I don't want to wait anymore. I'm young and I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait to be in a relationship with you and you just going back and forth because I feel that if you wanted to be with me, you would. And the fact that you are choosing not the opportunity to be with me again after like another opportunity was taken from us, chiefly the Singapore situation, shows me that there's something about you're not telling me. Now here's the truth. Both have valid points. I see both people's points, a little bit of both. Um, I think that Johnny honestly is scared shitless to go to America because of the fact that like the situation now works for him. He would love to be married, but he is able to work in town, thus giving his parents money to help him raise Stony and take care of his parents, Stony being his child. If he goes to America, he gives all of that up and risks the livelihoods of his parents and his child. I'm not saying risks them if he gets COVID, although that is a risk. I'm just saying risks them if he can afford things and if he can, because what if America, because he has a job that's already working. So if you get rid of that job, I'm just saying it's a risk, right? So we don't really know all that's happening in Johnny's mind of what he is dealing with. So we shall see. But I think that I will give them this. They are communicating. I think that Johnny didn't quite understand how upset Spella was at his hesitation. And Johnny, it seems like you better just make a decision. Because if you feel the way you do, which is that it's too scary to go in COVID, then yeah, but I mean, cut this lady off, honey. She's ready to go. Let this fish go back, honey. You know what I'm saying? Because she's flipping and she's flopping. Like the end of that No More epic video. Epics No More. You want it out, but you can't have it. This is a very old reference. Epic's Faith No More. It's in your face, but you can't grab it. If you know what I'm talking about, the fact that this 80s video, which is fucking great, ends with a flippity floppity fish, and that is Spella. Johnny has to throw her back in. Then you get my whole reference. Please, I guess I keep asking for emojis because then I know that you got certain jokes. Give me a fish emoji. So, or a hook emoji, your choice. Faith No More. Such a good, because here's the thing. Yeah, that song is so good. It has like a piano solo at the end. And like a guitar solo, it ends in the piano. It's kind of reminds you of like November Rain or like just an epic like rock song where like you just don't get that anymore. It's just like grand. And yeah, with those rock songs, you get, like soaring vocals, like Axl Rose, like that is. I loved Axl Rose's voice. Like I also remember being like heavily turned on by him. Thank you for the fishies. So, okay, that's basically that, huh? Benjamin and Mahogany. So, my loves. Benjamin is going to get on the plane to go to Peru, honey, and it's a funeral for the dignity that he had, because we all know when he says things like this relationship with Mahogany is the most spiritual, intimate, God-given relationship he's ever had in his whole life, where he used to be a pastor in a religion and had like 4 kids with this beautiful woman that was the mother of his kids. It's the rudest, it's the most disrespectful thing. I mean, imagine being this man saying this on TV. I think he is so not for me. I mean, I just can't. And I took a long reason why. I don't mean to be mean, but sometimes I'm a little mean or whatever. I said before that he is a catfish. I mean, because his modeling pictures look nothing like what he looks in real life. And it's because he is and God bless him, it's just God bless, it's just a thing. He's a pink man. The man is pink, like pink. I mean, like he spends a lot of time in the outdoors, honey, with not nary any SPF, honey. It shows through, like, and in all his modeling pictures, it must just be like a filter taking away the pink. I can't tell you. Sozies, wozies. Again, he dresses like he's going to a funeral, and it is, okay? And his son picks him up, and everyone hates him, okay? And and he is in the airport, and he gets a text from Mahogany, and Mahogany's like, oh, my dad is just like, doesn't want me to meet you. And this man's like, just got a text from Mahogany, doesn't look It doesn't look good. And he answers back something like, well, I don't want to get between you and your dad, but I do know that what I have between with you is God's will, what Jesus Christ wants, and you cannot stop Jesus. So I'm getting on this plane. Basically, what he says to her. It is like incredibly difficult for me to, and again, I mean, there's a lot of, if you play the times in which it's fair, if I've said some version of it's incredibly hard for me to deal with, and it's incredibly hard for me to watch, and it's incredibly hard for me to understand. It's probably a montage of me being like, I don't want to see Kimberly beg for sex and bloopity bloop bloops, but it's just, there's a lot of hard things to watch, and that's why we watch TV, to deal with these hard things and just to cringe on TV. But for men to use religion as some sort of unfallible reason why they are doing something and why someone else should do something because of God, their version of God, what God wants in their life is because what they want. And when that is used so blindly and blatantly with a blink blink, when it's said, well, it's, it's like, it's just hard. I don't know, it's hard to watch. No, my mouth is open. I don't have to say it, like, I don't have to say it's, I become speechless. Like, what do you say to that? Oh, I'm not, okay, well, that's your God, I guess, or that's really what you want. That's not what God wants. That's what you want. And you just think that's the best way. Good, thank God that, like, that's not how we use, or it should not be how we ever, like, judge anyone, should not ever be in a legal process. Can you imagine? I mean, just, that's insane. Also, why aren't you dressed in a business black suit? I mean, come on. So we also learned that this isn't the first time that they were supposed to meet up and that she texted him and was like, don't come, which was a little bit of a bomb. So, honey, he gets on that plane because God said to. So he did. Because Benjamin loves God. And definitely doesn't want to just bang the hell out of like a 23-year-old animated AI character that he thinks is some person named Mahogany. So, okay. Gino and Jasmine and Mike and God bless, I have so much to talk about. Jimena. The Mike and Jimena one I want to talk about first. Mike and Jimena, I agree, it's disgusting. So basically, it's like Fartgate, it's like the fallout of the fact that he just jumped on her and passed gas and then said te amo afterward, and she was like, no, her face melted off in that moment and or is on the sheet still of that hotel bed, and she has been now just walking around all day without a face. She can't believe it happened to her. Yeah, you don't, yeah, it's gross. I don't, there seems to be, I think we should teach more hygiene in school. Do we teach hygiene in school? We should teach hygiene in school. I mean, I think we should teach it. We got to teach everyone, I think, social grace and manners more than we do. More than we do. Because it's about consideration for oneself and respect for oneself, and of course, respect for others. And I think that as for some reason, Americans have just gotten all over the board. And look, I'm not saying that you have to like shower twice a day with Castile soap if that's not your thing. I know some people are like, oh, I want the oils from blah blah blue, but you can rinse off. You don't have to put soap. I mean, I'm just saying there's lots of ways of doing things. I mean, I'm not, but this is across the board. That's just showering. But at the same time, what we're talking about is like, yeah, you cannot burp or pass gas in front of people. And if for any reason that happens, you have to handle it like a pro. And it's definitely not by pretending it didn't happen. Because if you pretend it doesn't happen, then we think that it happens all the time because that's the way life works for you. See, it's a really weird thing. When you do something that's bad, sometimes a person's first idea is like ignore it didn't happen. But everyone saw that it happened. And it's better to just let it be known that it happened and you're embarrassed and it will not happen again. Do you understand that, Alina? Take the L, take the smell, and hit the high road, honey, and make some changes. But here's the thing. So Hamina like is disgusted. She like tells Mike, and Mike's like embarrassed by it, because Mike's like, I don't understand. Like, what? I farted on you, big deal. I had to kill someone and then threaten to kill you like your dudes. Which, you know what? He's got a point. Because the truth of the matter is, Hamina's never really been into Mike. And she's told us it wasn't just the farting. When he came the day in the airport, she was like, oh, yeah, he said fine. Smiled. Pequeño para mí. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't like always such a big fan, always. And it wasn't like this is the first thing. And she was like, what? My dreams have been shattered. You popped my dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not been liking Mike. So this is just a layer that, like, here's the thing. If you're not attracted to someone, you are not physically attracted to someone, what can you do to get yourself in the mood? Well, you can squint your eyes and sort of see if with a couple of drinks, if you just close, if you can touch this, but you don't pay attention, but if this person is so violating and vulgar in the disgust this person gives to you, then there's no way out. There's no going back. You can't. Every time they touch you, it's just going to be like, oh God, it's bad. Now, Mike has done a lot for this relationship, but if Mike does not know that yet at Mike's age, I am okay with Mike using this as a learning opportunity to learn that and then do better in the next relationship. Because you have to learn that if you didn't know it. Mike? Mm-mm. So, I feel bad for Hamina, but I am happy that Hamina got to have that conversation in front of a fireplace in a matching, like, teal turtleneck with matching eyeshadow. And I'm like, what palette was that? Was that like Huda Beauty, like Under the Sea palette? Um, so moving on to Gino and Jasmine. So Jasmine has gotten finally divorced. She's so happy from her ex-husband. She's going to have a party with her friends, and it's friends only, and no men except for her friends that are men, just basically not Gino and not her kids. I'm a bitch. So Jasmine, I didn't realize this party is just in the hotel that they're already in a different room. Because of the pandemic's like curfew. So all they do is like rent party rooms. So that's what they did. And her friends are there and they're talking. And every time that she's talking to her friends, it's basically all the exact same thing, which is like, ha ha ha, I'm so crazy. Gino's so sad because he knows how crazy I am. And all of her friends are always just like, yeah, bitch, you are nuts. I mean, and he is. I don't know how long he's gonna be able to be with you because you are bananas. She's just like, I have a difficult personality. My personality, no es fácil. And her friends are like, no es fácil, honey. It's muy difficult. Difficult, whatever, God bless. So then one of them gets a stripper. So the stripper comes. And Jasmine and this stripper like get down, and you know, it's just trashy. I don't like it. I think that there's a time and a place for strippers in one's life, and strippers are great for bachelorette parties if you're a female, and bachelor parties, right? Like that's the best. Like anytime after like that, and maybe you're saying, well, it's a divorce party, but she's dating someone. I don't know. After like you've already been married and stuff like that, just seems weird. So, but also what seems weird is that immediately after the stripper leaves, we're all drunk, and then suddenly Jasmine's like, "I want to go see my papi with the pee. God bless. Okay, that's what she says. And so she goes up, and they're in the room not in 2 seconds because they just like went to the different level of the hotel they're already at. And Gino's just like there looking so schlum, and all her friends are like, "Gino, look what happened." They're like, "It's obvious." They're like, the entire thing was planned. It feels like the producers just got like a one night storyline by just like booking an extra hotel room in the same hotel and inviting her like trashy friends over. Anyway, so and her extensions were Jasmine's extensions are just horrible. Are really, they're just never blended and they are stringy and at this I mean, don't have it. If you just it would look so much better. I mean, we don't all need to have long hair. It's true. It just looks so bad. So basically, they show Gino the footage, and Gino is just like, "Oh," and they're like, "Oh, he's mad. He's mad." He doesn't say he's mad. They're just like, "He's mad. He's turning red." Then they all leave, and Jasmine's like, "Are you mad?" She's like, "Well, how would you feel if it was me?" I mean, it's just like so Eeyore, and she's like, feels some way, which is she'd be sad, and then it's quickly dropped, and they go and bone. And Kimberly cries because she won't ever get it. Yeah, why did they have to show him that? They didn't. Because the producers asked them to. That's why. Um, so did I do it all? Wait, no, I have to have missed someone. I always do this. You guys, did I do all the couples? Oh, someone has a firework. Oh no, I see I've been looking at my notes. TTT. Did I do them? Oh, but yeah, because I'm not talking about Alina and Stupid because they're gone. And then let's look. I talked about Gino and Jasmine. I talked about Memphis and Hamza. I talked about Kimberly, Usman. I talked about them. Oh my God, have I really? Wow, I don't understand. Did I do that all? And it's only an hour. This is what I mean, I didn't even try to limit myself. I feel like I deep dived. It's only been an hour. I talked about all the couples. No way. Did I really? You guys tell me. I love you guys so much, and again, I really thank you so much for like being here. Wow, really, I mean, well, great. I'll be honest, this is like not the greatest episode, but I, however, think that the next week's episode is going to be really great because we get to have Mahogany and whatever she looks like, which is weird because in Wa's video she shows us, and this is why you should watch Wa's video of the week. Wa shows us what TLC released as Mahogany's image, like the beginning of their segment, which is like a normal person, okay? And every picture that he showed his kids is obviously like a CGI blah blah blah. It's like an aviator, avatar, not aviator, avatar. We're like, that's not a real person, like who's that? So this person, this entity, we're gonna meet Mahogany. Secondly, is that Jasmine gets DMs from Gino's ex and she unblocks him and they've sent her things. And I think this is when that Jasmine finds out that Gino like sent the naked pictures of Jasmine everywhere. Whew. So, blah, 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 I don't know what to tell you. That's crazy. I hope Mahogany is an actual some kind of AI deepfake. I'm just like, I don't know, but look, yeah, but the wall, but okay, but TLC had released an image of Mahogany, and again, is like they're like like Mahogany, like Lima Peru picture, which is her picture, and that's like a totally normal looking person. I mean, totally normal, completely average person, not average ugly, but not like you know. So we have a good episode coming up next week. I'm excited about it. Other than that, my bays, that's all I have for you. I'm happy. Well, I'm happy to follow the situation and see what happens and what TLC does with, you know, Alina and what Caleb ends up saying and all of that. You guys, this continues on. It keeps chugging along. Think I'm over the Usman Kimberly storyline. I think it's boring. Again, the only time I can now get it is if they inject some new blood. Let's get Zara in here, or let's get Jamal. Let's get Zara and Jamal in, and let's have Zara and Jamal fall in love. And then let's give me a show. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for my mods. Thank you so much for my peeps. If you want to Venmo me, you can. I always will take money. Thank you. If you want to super chat me, you're always welcome to. Just give me money any way you want. I don't need it though. I truly just want your love and attention and your thumbs up. Your thumbs it up. And all the emojis I asked for. So you understand and I understand that my inside jokes land and my references. So other than that, I really hope you guys have a great week. I mean, I really hope that this end of January for you and this year that has felt like the last 2 years has brought in some new energy, some new blood, and some hope for you, because that is what I hope for me. And what I hope for you is what I hope for me, because what I want for you is what I want for me. I want us all to be loved and to love, and to be warmed and to warm, and to be happy and to make others happy. So, I know I'm so deep. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Chris L. Farah. The L is for Lebanese or luxury. Tee. I also have a private Facebook group, and that's Vanity Farah on Facebook, like I said, where we drop the stories and pictures of stuff happening in the zeitgeist that we need comments about. So if you want more information about any of that, you can hit up those channels. And other than that, God bless, right? Let's take a breath. God bless. One more. Yes. I really love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. You're so pretty. Thank you so much for all of your comments. All right, baby boos. Take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe and make art. All right. I'll see you later. Thank you again. Come back and like the video when it goes up.